We're talking the Lego Up House today, and I'm going to talk about 3 concerns that I would say I have on this set and hopefully get to the bottom of whether you should spend your hard-earned money on this set or not. So the details on the set first. The age range is going to be 9+. It's going to retail for $60 here in the US, and it's going to have 598 total pieces, which is about a mid-range build. As far as the build itself, it's a nice little build. You've got the Up House from the Disney movie Up. You've got this nice kind of front appearance of the house, very colorful. You've got a little porch by the entranceway. You've got a little spigot here for, I would assume, to turn the water on and off. You've got some windows up front, a little rooster for the wind gauge. Bunch of balloons, obviously. You got to have a bunch of balloons on the Up House for it to carry the house away. You've got the ability to turn it around, and then you can see there's a little bedroom on the 2nd floor, little entranceway, little attic TV room, I would assume this is, and then you have this little living room down on the bottom. Now you get 2 minifigures. You get Carl Fredricksen, you get the boy Russell, you get the dog Doug, and then you get this little squirrel on the side here. You also have this little mini side build. It's got this helium canister here for blowing up the balloons, little mailbox right by a white picket fence, so nice little side build. So now that we've talked about the actual build, let me talk about 3 concerns that I have with this set. So the first concern that I have with this set is the age range on the box. It's 9+. Now normally I don't have a problem with what the age range is on a set, but with this one I kind of do. Because for me, this set kind of falls into like a gap per se. There's not really any play features. Normally on the younger age range sets, you're going to have some form of play feature or some cool mechanism or something in the set. This has nothing. There's no play features. There's no mechanisms. Now, to be fair, I guess you could play with this. I mean, you've got an open door, so you've got a little house you could essentially play with. But if you look at the back of it, you know, the interior, you've got 2 studs basically behind this door. So, I mean, you have 0 space to be able to put anything in there. Yes, 9+ in the sense that, you know, it is a fun build. I did show it to my 2 boys. They did like the look of the set and they wanted to build it with me. But at the end of the day, it's going to be a display piece. So then that brings me to, is this meant for more of the adult audience? So even though they put 9+, are they expecting some of the more adult audience to kind of buy this? When it comes to an 18+ set, this just isn't big enough. This isn't an overly complicated build. 598 pieces, so you're not getting something that's super large. Does it look good? You know, is there some ability to display this? Yes. But for me, it doesn't really have a place. It's not really in my mind so much for the super young audience, but it's also not for the adult audience. If they were going for the adult audience, add an additional 1,000 to 1,500 pieces, I would have definitely purchased that. This one, again, just kind of falls in a gap for me, which kind of makes it a, should I buy this or should I not? Kind of leaves me not really knowing what to do with this set. The second thing that I had a concern with is the colors on this set. Now, to be fair, the colors are pretty true to form. If you look at a picture of the Up House, you know, you've got blue right there. It is yellow. It is green. You do have the pink around the windows. So they actually did nail where the colors should be, and they nailed the look of the house. But the moment I first initially looked at it, when those first images popped up, my initial thought was, that looks really cool, and wow, that is really bright. There's just a lot going on this. Visually, it's kind of almost overwhelming. I mean, all the colors of the balloons, obviously up here, you know, is one thing, but then if you look at the house itself, it's just, bam, it's a lot of color. So as far as this goes, if you look at the actual images of the Up House, the colors are the same, but they're a little bit more muted. They're a little bit more toned down so as not to overwhelm. And I think they maybe could have done a little something more with that. Maybe looked at, I know we are limited with what colors you have in Lego, but they maybe could have looked at some alternative colors to try to mute the colors just a little bit so that it's not as overwhelming. It looks good. I'm not going to say it doesn't look good. To be completely honest, initially it overwhelmed me more. As I built it and as I've stared at it over the course of the last week or so, the colors and the look of the house has grown on me. The third thing that I've had a beef with since the beginning, my third concern, is going to be the price on this. It's $60 here in the US. That ends up being about 10 cents a piece, which doesn't sound bad. It's not horrible, but when you really build the set and you look at what you're getting, I just haven't felt comfortable with that $60 price point from the get-go. Is it a cool set? Absolutely, but it's not a $60 set for me in my mind. When I picked this set up, which they're currently running in a lot of places right now, I was able to get this for $47.99. Even at $47.99, I still felt like that was a little bit of a stretch. Where I really think this set should be maybe somewhere in like the $39.99 range, maybe $34.99. So what I would advise, if you are gonna pick this set up, don't pay $60. It's not worth $60 in my opinion. Wait for the $47.99, try to find that deal, or more if you can. Honestly, it should be even more discounted than just the 20%. But let's also talk about some pluses to this set. There are some pluses to this set. I'm not going to say that there aren't. So I will say I like a lot of the artwork that is inside the house. It does kind of give you this homey feel, and you kind of get the feel of Carl Fredricksen's life with the artwork on the walls. I like the little bird in the living room. The adventure book is really cool. So there are some cool knickknacks inside the house itself. But my favorite part to the set is going to be definitely the minifigures. This is probably the reason I bought this set. You can get all of these on a Bricklink or on an eBay or something by themselves. You can just buy the minifigures. But if you can get a good price on the house, then it might make it worth it. But overall, that is the build. So what would I rate it, and should you buy it? I am going to give this set a rating of a 5 out of 10. I definitely, again, am not thrilled with the whole build itself. I've already kind of talked about my concerns. My biggest plus to this set are the minifigures, Doug and the squirrel. Those are the real reason I picked up the set. I think the house looks cool, but it's definitely not something that I'm going to display or use in any significant way. These are really what I'm going to keep here. But again, you're not getting an overly complex build. You're not getting something that's, you know, a super display piece. So in my mind, 5 out of 10 is all I can give this. Good set. Definitely not a great set. Just my opinion on it. That's kind of what my thoughts are on after building it and kind of looking at this thing over time. If you have a different opinion, drop it down in the comments below. I'd love to know what your opinion is on the set. Outside of that though, if you got some value out of the video, hit that like button, subscribe. There's more LEGO videos coming your way, and I will see you in the next one.